Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the Neca Universal Monsters movie poster homage Universal Studios exclusive versions. These are exclusive to the Universal Studios Park, as well as their online website. These were really overpriced. Shame on Neca for doing this, or maybe it's Universal Studios, who knows. I want to give a huge shout out to my boy Mark from Instagram. He knew someone that worked there, so I got these guys for a substantial discount. Really happy to complete the collection. So let's take a look at the packaging. We have the Wolfman, Dracula, Frankenstein, the Bride of Frankenstein, and the creature from the Black Lagoon. The Wolfman. Now, he's in this weird sort of color scheme, and I think it looks really cool. They all sort of visually pop, and it reminds me of the Neca King Kong that had this sort of movie poster version. That's what these guys are. Universal Monsters, the Wolfman. Here he is on one side, other side, different pose. The back, here's this particular figure. The bottom, they put their own barcode on top of the regular barcode, so I can't see how that's going to help anybody. And as you saw, yes, they were asking $48 at the time. I think I got these for half price. And now they're reduced to $35, so that kind of sucks, but whatever. Next, we have Dracula. You can see the sort of purple on his face. It looks pretty damn cool. Dracula. I'm not going to bother with the barcodes as they put something else on top of them. And they're only available there, so I don't see how to help anyone track them down. And then we have Frankenstein. This one looks the most similar to the old King Kong figure. Frankenstein's monster. Next, we have the Bride of Frankenstein, and she's probably the coolest looking one, with the sort of pink outfit and the detail on her skin. Bride. And finally, the creature from the Black Lagoon, one of my personal favorites. I like the dark green, little sort of color accents on the side. So with no further ado, let's open them up and check them out. Well, alright. Now that we've got these figures out of the package, here they are with all their accessories laid out. They really don't come with any accessories. They're backbone set, Dracula's cape, and the Bride of Frankenstein has her sort of cloth soft goods on top of her bandaged interior. In this video, we're going to take a look at each of the figures individually. We'll check out their accessories, or lack of, height, articulation, and then we'll compare them with a bunch of other relevant action figures. Now, looking at the group in front of you, we have some of the core Universal monsters. The Wolfman, Dracula, Frankenstein's monster, the Bride of Frankenstein, and the creature from the Black Lagoon. Now, my biggest surprise, well, I guess besides them making these at all, because they're pretty weird, but they are pretty freaking cool looking as well, is the fact that there's no mummy figure. These guys are based off movie posters, and they have that sort of weird, it's not exactly cell shading, but sort of pixelization or cell shading, or whatever you want to call it, look to them. And the only figure I'm aware of that Neca has made like this before is King Kong. I don't know if maybe the Mummy didn't have a movie poster like this. Really not sure. All I know is these figures look badass. They look really cool, visually very interesting, but not so good as far as scenarios and world building. But if you're all in with Neca's Universal Monsters and Horror Collection, then you'll love these guys. Now, at the Universal Studios website, they had Wolfman, Frankenstein's monster, Bride of Frankenstein, and the creature. They did not have Dracula, so if you want him, you're going to have to go to an actual Universal Studios store, or pay about $1 million on eBay. Once again, huge shout out to my boy Mark for arranging these for me. It is much appreciated. So let's go and start off. We'll check them out in the order they are in front of you. I'd say I'm probably the least excited for the Wolfman, and then probably Frankenstein's monster, then Dracula, then creature, and then the Bride of Frankenstein. I think she looks the coolest, but we'll see how I feel as I make it through this video. So let's start off by looking at the Wolfman. Half man, half wolf. You get bit, the full moon comes out. This is what will happen to you. Let's take a closer look. Now, very sort of furry face. He's got fangs. Very unique look to him, as the original Wolfman was not exactly like your traditional werewolf, but it looks cool. Now the color scheme is really weird. He's got the sort of orange, red look to his fur at the front. In the back, it's kind of black. His shirt is black and dark red or maroon, and then more so red on the front. And he's got blue jeans stained with red, and even more red on the back. And then, of course, his feet, black fur and orange fur on the front. I like him. He looks cool. He has that weird, sort of old school, awkward, kind of dumb look with the fangs sticking out, but I love it. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt. Now, the sculpt is great, and the way they painted the hair, it just really brings out the sculpt. The fangs, the fur, it looks excellent and just screams old school Wolfman. And then here's the figure, broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. You can pop off his hands, feet, and head, because the original version had interchangeable human parts like that. Of course, this guy doesn't have any accessories or interchangeable parts, so it's kind of a moot point, but it's the same base figure sculpt, so they can still pop in and out. And now that we've taken a pretty good look at the figure and his lack of accessories, let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, standing about 7.2 inches tall, maybe 7.3, which can translate to just over 18 centimeters. And for his articulation, and I was debating on doing the articulation for one figure, but they really have all different articulation schemes, even though they're similar. Starting with his head, he can rotate side to side. He can look up, about that far, not too much, down, about that much. Can tilt his head, at least a little bit, from side to side. Shoulders, a ball joint, goes out about 90 degrees. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. He's got a single jointed elbow, goes in a little bit more than 90 degrees with rotation. His wrists can rotate, and they're hinged as well. Torso is one solid piece, ball joint in the waist, rotate around, forward and back, not much. Legs, almost complete to splits, ball joints. The legs can rotate independently of the ball at least a little bit, and go forward, about that far, back not much. Single jointed knee with rotation. He's got kind of a boot cut where you can pop the foot out, and then his ankle. Forward and back, tilt and rock, and then rotation right there. Here's this movie poster Wolfman figure next to the Neca color version. And here are all the different variations of Wolfman that Neca has made. We have the glow-in-the-dark version, the black and white version, the movie poster version, the color version, the Loot Crate version, and the Crypt Club version. There is still one more version coming out, and that's going to be sort of classic, retro, action figure homage Wolfman, and it's getting a bit ridiculous. Personally, I'd say the new one probably looks most visually interesting of all of them, but if I had to pick just one, it would be the classic color version. Here's the Wolfman, next to a couple of Neca werewolves from The Howling, and an American werewolf in London. And here, next to 4 Neca werewolf soldiers from an American werewolf in London. Then, with a McFarlane Fortnite werewolf. Here's this Wolfman, next to the regular and black-white versions of Raphael is the Wolfman from Neca's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover with Universal Monsters line. So now let's check out Dracula, everybody's favorite and original vampire. This guy utilizes the body of the black and white version of Dracula, which is a sort of ebony version. A little bit different than the color version. Mildly interesting. He comes with a cloth, soft goods, removable cape. So let's take a closer look. Now starting with his face. It looks great. It looks weird. He's got the shading. It's like purple and sort of red, orange. And his skin has a sort of white, a little bit of sort of a hint of green in there. It looks really cool, really weird. He's got a suited body, black sort of tux, white shirt, and sort of purple on the vest there. He's got that necklace on, watch down here. The hands done the same sort of color scheme. Looks very interesting, almost like they're covered in blood. Single jointed knee and elbow. And his cape is awesome. Look at that thing. It's got the red sort of shading, very well done. It could be blood. Could just be a nice little effect there. You can take it off very easily. It's got this plastic collar. Stretches out pretty damn far. Fantastic accessory. Really cool, visually interesting figures. He's got this little sort of purple line across his head. That I do not like. It looks like he has a headband on, but you can't really see it from the front. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt. The sculpt's fantastic. The paint job, it's weird, but also really cool. I actually really like the way these figures look. Sort of purple on the one side, and sort of the pale flesh color on the other. And then this figure's hands, head, and cape come off, because the original version had interchangeable heads and hands, etc. And now for his height. From bottom to the top, about 7.3 inches tall, just over 18 centimeters. And for his articulation, starting with his head, rotate side to side. He can look up pretty good, down pretty good. He has articulation of the top of the neck and the bottom of the neck. Can tilt his head. Shoulders, ball joint, goes out to slightly less than 90 degrees. Up, down, around. Single jointed elbow. Goes in more than 90 degrees with rotation. The wrist can rotate. Hinged. Torso is one piece. Ball joint in the waist. Rotate around. Very limited there. Forward and back's okay. Complete as a splits. Ball joints. They can rotate pretty nicely. Go forward all the way. Back not much. Single jointed knee with rotation and the ankle. Forward and back. Rotate a little bit, and then tilt and rock. Here's this movie poster Dracula next to the original color and black and white versions. As you can see, there are some minor sculpting differences on the torso. The color one has a necklace, and the black and white one has a longer necklace and a pocket watch. They chose the black and white version as the base for this movie poster version. Here are all the variations of Dracula that Neca has made. Glow in the dark, black and white, movie poster version, color version, and then the Loot Crate and Loot Fright versions. Just like the other figure, Wolfman, he also has a Universal Monsters 1986 action figure homage version. Then, with Neca's Christopher Lee version of Dracula. Then, with Neca's Nosferatu figures, the original vampire. Next, with Neca's Count from the Munsters, which is based off Dracula. And finally, with the Toy Biz Marvel Legends Dracula figure, and with 3 different versions of Neca's Shredder as Dracula. Now let's look at Frankenstein's monster. This is a large, oversized figure, very bulky, very clunky. This one looks like it's done with the Bride of Frankenstein, has a sort of damaged look to him. The face looks very interesting. It's yellow on the top with sort of red on the sides. The green skin gives me sort of a bloody vibe to it, almost a flesh-colored vibe to it, and then sort of a Munsters green vibe to it, the Rob Zombie version. His jacket is ripped apart, single jointed elbows, single jointed knees, a little more damage and ripped on his sleeve here. Most of the rest is a combination of black, green, red, maybe brown. It looks interesting. His face in particular, his head looks very interesting, very weird. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt. The paint job is just weird, but I kind of like it at the same time. Kind of like all these figures. They're really weird looking, but really cool looking also. And just like the others, this guy's hands and head come off because that's how the regular version was sculpted. And now for his height, and he is bigger than the others. From bottom to top of his head, standing about 8.1, maybe 8.2 inches tall, which can translate to about 20.5 centimeters. And his articulation, starting with his head, he can rotate side to side. He can look up and down a pretty good amount. Articulation both at the top and bottom of the neck. He can tilt his head. Shoulders go out about 90 degrees. Up, down, around. Single jointed elbow. goes in more than 90 degrees with rotation. The wrist, rotate, hinged. Torso does actually have a ball joint in the ab. Rotate around. Forward and back, not much. Ball joint and waist. Rotate around. Forward and back. Between the two, pretty good, although this one is more or less pointless. Legs complete to the splits. Ball joints. Rotation's good. Go outward at least. Then you go forward. About that far. Back not at all. Single jointed knee with rotation. And his ankle. Forward and back, just a littlest bit there. No rotation. Yes, tilt rock. You have the rotation in the knee. Here's this movie poster version of Frankenstein's monster, next to Neca's original color version from Frankenstein, and their color version from the Bride of Frankenstein. They chose the Bride of Frankenstein body with the ripped up clothing to use for this movie poster version. Now, is it based off a movie poster version for the Bride of Frankenstein? Or the Frankenstein and they just chose this body? I don't know. If you guys do, drop me in the comments below and let me know. Here are all the versions that Neca has made of Frankenstein's monster. Well, except for one, I don't have the Loot Crate version, but it's pretty much exactly the same as the Loot Fright version, so it doesn't really matter. We have both the black and white and color versions from Frankenstein, glow-in-the-dark version, movie poster version, Loot Fright version, and the color and black and white versions from Bride of Frankenstein. Now, I didn't get the Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein 2-pack because they are identical to the single releases also, except they have less accessories. And honestly, if there was anything different, I would have grabbed them. Here he is, next to the Four Horsemen Studios Frankenstein, and next to a McFarlane DC Multiverse DC Comics Frankenstein, and here, next to a NECA Herman Munster, which is also based off Frankenstein, and here, with the regular and black and white versions of Raphael as Frankenstein's monster. Next, we have the Bride of Frankenstein. I think she looks really cool in this color scheme. She's got the hair standing up like a giant sort of beehive. It looks good. The sort of color really brings out the sculpt. Looks interesting, and she still has those sort of gray streaks going up and down the side. Her skin is predominantly yellow, but it's got a bunch of red, different colors. I like it. Then her sort of, I don't know, dress or whatever you want to call it. It's white, but it's red on the bottom, or pink rather. Looks very good, very feminine. Stitched together at the top, and underneath she has this sort of mummy type bandages. Sculpt is fantastic, paint job is very unique. Of course, underneath we have a full sort of mummy-esque type body. Single jointed knees and elbows. And a closer look at her face and head sculpt. The head sculpt looks good, the face looks good, the hair looks amazing. Sculpt is great, and the paint job is just really interesting, very visually pleasing. And then here's this figure broken down with all of her removable parts detached. And now for her height. From bottom to the top of her hair, about 7.4 inches tall. And her articulation. Her head can rotate side to side, can look up and down a pretty good amount. Tilt her head from side to side. Shoulders. A ball joint goes out about that far. All the way up. Single jointed elbow with rotation. The wrist can rotate and is hinged. She's got a ball joint in her torso. Rotate around. Forward and back. Legs complete as the splits, ball joints, rotation is okay, going outward, forward about all the way, back not much, single jointed knee, rotation, and the ankle, forward and back, tilt rock, no rotation, that's in the knee. And here's the movie poster version, next to the original color version, and then here are all the versions of the Bride of Frankenstein they've made. Glow-in-the-dark version, movie poster version, original color version, and a black and white version. Here she is, next to April O'Neil as the Bride of Frankenstein. Now let's look at the creature from the Black Lagoon, or Gillman. I've always been a huge fan of the creature from the Black Lagoon. Such a unique looking creature, unique design, and Now we have a unique paint job to match. So let's take a look. It's a closer look at everybody's favorite sort of man, fish, lizard hybrid. He's got the sort of fish lips here, gills on the side. The paint job's really weird. It's like a dark green, red on top, some purple below, and then that weird yellow, orange shading on the sides. He's got sort of fins or spikes, whatever, on the back. Webbed fingers, webbed toes, single jointed knees and elbows. Fantastic sculpt and texturing all over this guy. Look at those lips. Just such an interesting paint job. They're all visually very pleasing and interesting. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt. Creepy to say the least, but well done at the same time. I really like the gills. I love the sculpting, his cheeks and around his mouth and nose area. Then the paint job is just so weird. And for his height, he's also taller than the other ones. About 8.1 inches tall, 20.5 centimeters. And his articulation. His head rotates around, looks up and down. Limited, but, gets the job done. Can at least tilt his head pretty nicely. Shoulders, ball joint, goes up 90 degrees. Up, down, around. Single jointed elbow. You know what? Actually, it might be double jointed. It's hidden very nicely under these sort of layers. Rotation at the top, rotation at the bottom. His wrists can rotate, hinged. Torso, ball joint rotates around, forward and back a little bit. His waist, rotate around, forward and back is limited on both of them. Legs, complete as a splits. Ball joints, rotation's decent. Go forward, not too much. Back, not at all. Looks like it is double jointed knees. Although mine's, I don't really want to force it and mess it up. I'll have to heat it up, but it does have a second joint below here, which will be able to, go up. Like I said, I just don't want to really mess with it. Rotation at the top, ankle, forward and back, rotate, tilt, rock. I'll hit the knee with some heat, free that up. Here's the movie poster version of the creature next to the original color version. One of my favorite Universal monsters. And here are all the versions that Neca's made of the creature from the Black Lagoon. We have the glow-in-the-dark version, the black and white version, the movie poster version, the color version, and both the Loot Crate and Loot Fright versions. And here, next to both the color and black and white versions of Leonardo as the creature from the Black Lagoon, which is, I think, a very underrated figure. Here are these 5 figures based off movie posters with a very unique paint job and shading, next to the only other figure I'm aware of that Neca has done in this style. They made other movie poster figures like the recent RoboCop or Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but those are completely different than these. These are shaded in a very unique fashion. The only other one I've ever seen is this version of King Kong. If there are any others I'm unaware of, please drop in the comments below. I'd be curious to find out. So that was a look at these Universal Studios exclusive Neca Universal Monsters movie poster versions. I think they look really cool. They're not very practical, but they're very aesthetically pleasing. I just can't stop looking at them. They look just so weird, vibrant sort of, and just, I don't know, it all sort of just works. Now, I'm really surprised they didn't make a mummy figure to go with the set. He seems one of the main Universal monsters, but there might be a good reason. Maybe there was no poster like this for him. Now, the next Universal monster weird variants they're coming out with are these classic movie monster 1986 figure homage versions. I think it's a 4-pack with the Mummy, Dracula, Frankenstein's monster, and the Wolfman. We're going to have even more variants of some of those figures, but that one's not going to have the creature or the bride. Still, Neca's making tons and tons and tons of variants of these Universal monsters, and to tell you the truth, I love it. I think it's a lot of fun. As far as the figures in front of you, I'd say Bride's my favorite, then Creature, then Dracula, then Frank, then Wolfman, but they all look really cool, really sharp, really unique, and they kind of match, but they're also kind of different. So, what do you guys think? Do you like these figures? Do you think they're stupid? I can totally see both sides, and I kind of think the same way for both. They're stupid and they're cool. They're totally necessary, but they look really cool. They're nice additions to the collection. So this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.